Welcome back. eNCA.com has released the 10 most read stories of 2018. Some of the big names include President Jacob Zuma's son, Duduzane, the EFF leader, Julius Malema, as well as others. To discuss this, eNCA online content producer, Ongezwa Zibi, joins me now in studio. Afternoon to you, Ongezwa. I want to start, I'm looking at the top 10 here, but I want to start from the bottom.
Right.
Because it's a story that a lot of people may have lost track of. But earlier this year, someone said on Twitter, we've forgotten that Poloni tried to kill us. And this had to do with the listeriosis outbreak.
It really did. More than 200 people were reported. They had died from the listeriosis outbreak. And the health officials announced in March that they had traced the outbreak to the enterprise's plant in Polokwane, and it was a major story. It came in at number 10 in our top 10, and of course, you know, it's become better with the health officials also reporting that it is in a better place now. There are less people that are coming forward and saying they have died or are suffering from symptoms of the outbreak.
Another story where I think a lot of local broadcasters had major envy was when the BBC secured that exclusive interview with Duduzane Zuma, former President Jacob Zuma's son. How did that story do on the website? It
came in at number 9, who is Duduzane Zuma. A lot of people were clearly very interested in knowing who he is more in depth, you know, his past, his family life, and all those kinds of things. He made it at number 10 with details around who he is and where he comes from. We know that he is, you know, Zuma's son. He's one of 22 children, and he's also a twin.
Duduzane Zuma loves his father dearly. Someone who may not share the same affection for the former president is Julius Malema, no stranger to the headlines, and he said a lot this year, but one thing that I think stands out were his comments about Indians in South Africa and racism, and I see that's coming at number 7 on the website.
Yes, he said that a majority of Indians are racist and that they need to take ownership of the fact that they are racist. I think there was a time he even made reference to Mahatma Gandhi's sentiments around African people, and that was a major story. It got a lot of clicks on our website.
Now, 10 is a lot to go through. What sort of work goes into you guys putting everything together? I imagine it takes more than just a day.
It does take a lot of time and effort, but of course we look at how many people have clicked on a story. We use our internal system to determine how many people have viewed the story, and we also use Google Analytics to check and determine how many people have viewed the story and how many people are revisiting the story as it progresses.
We don't agree on a lot as South Africans. Load shedding, though, I think is the one thing everyone in this country agrees on. We all absolutely hate it, and it's at number 4.
Yes, it was also one of the biggest stories because it affects everyone. Whether you live, you know, in the township or in the suburbs, you will be affected by load shedding. And it came in at number 4, with a lot of people just checking how it affects where they live and how they can, you know, sort of make alternative arrangements in order to ensure that it's not as bad as, you know, it was. But fortunately, we don't have it for the festive season.
Interesting thing about load shedding is, for those of us who followed it from when it first began in 2008, you'd think people are now interested in the reasons why the lights are out, the ESCOM behind the scenes information, but a lot of the information, when you look at what's trending, is that people just want to know, as you say, how it affects them, the duration and so forth. So very basic things that continue to do well.
Because at the end of the day, you want to know what you can do in those hours in order to make sure that you're not, you know, in the dark.
Okay, I'm told we're going to have to quickly rush through this, but the lunar eclipse is at number 3 on our list.
Yes.
Why?
Because it was the longest one of the 21st century, and astronomers say that it won't happen again, I think, for another 63 years, if I'm not mistaken. So it was a major story with a lot of people looking up in the sky at 25 minutes past 8 on the 27th of July, just to check and see the longest lunar eclipse of the 21st century.
No shortage of bizarre stories, and this one is at number 2 on the list. A man who chopped off his ex-son-in-law finger at a restaurant.
Talk about family drama. It was an altercation between the two, apparently at a Mug and Bean restaurant. And out of the blue, apparently the father-in-law or ex-father-in-law leaped over and cut the man's finger off. He was arrested on the scene and then he was charged.
Number one, I don't know how much pleasure he will derive from this, but Malusi Gigaba, the former Home Affairs Minister's home affairs were laid bare, if you can put it that way. There was that video of an adult nature, which he said he'd recorded for his wife. Yes. And it seems that it's the one story that everyone was clicking on. And I'd imagine a lot of them hoping to see the actual video, but it wasn't there.
And it wasn't there. But the people are still talking about it even now. I mean, it caused such a roar on social media with people just talking about the fact that how can such a thing happen? With a lot of people judging him, but a lot of people also saying, no, there was no need for people to judge him.
Because it was a private affair.
Yes, it was a private affair. It was his phone. It was hacked, he said. And he was being extorted, he also claimed as well, from the video. So it was a lot of back and forth with a lot of people divided about whether or not, you should have such content on your phone.
Ongezwa Zibi with our eNCA.com content team. Thank you so much for your time.